When we talk about the best young duos in the WNBA, realistically, this is number one. Aliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark is the number one duo. Young duos that could be, you could argue, are somewhere up there. Kennedy Carter, Angel Reese. Like, who else? Who else? Like, no one unbelievably. At some stage, maybe Aliyah Edwards and Shakira Austin, maybe. Arike's not old, I guess. There's not that many great young duos in the WNBA except for this one here. But here's Aliyah Boston after being asked about Caitlin Clark playing with her. And Complex, if there is any copyright issue, please DM me. Please DM me. I can't. I need to play this, unfortunately, in order to get my point across. But not any more than the 17 seconds.
It's great playing beside her.
I will also turn out then the media. Maybe that'll be best. I think the attention she gets and her ability to see the floor and make the right decision is crucial in crucial times. Important. It's really great, and I feel like how I contribute, how
She's made for this league.
it feels like, and I feel like how I've helped her is to just continue to allow her to know that she's made for this league. She can dominate in this league and just continue to be her. So, look, I'm not going to lie. When people are talking about all the vets that she needs to play, or she needs to be used to playing with, the vets that Caitlin Clark needs. Look, Aliyah Boston is probably the vet that Caitlin Clark needs. Caitlin Clark will be completely fine with Aliyah Boston as her vet. Because, look, again, Aliyah Boston, people don't really notice. Aliyah Boston is younger than Paige Beckers. She's a couple of months younger than Paige Beckers. She's only a month older than Caitlin Clark. But she has a very good head on her shoulders. And look, if you're going to say who is the leader of this team, there's a difference between the floor general and the leader. Like, I think with Caitlin Clark's mentality towards everything when it comes to basketball, it's hard for her to be that, like, unbelievably good leader. Because she's in that Kobe Bryant mold, which, again, it doesn't even work on NBA teams. That attitude definitely wouldn't work with WNBA teams. The, like, just the crate. We just know it is. The Mamba mentality stuff. We know that wouldn't really work too well. But you can see as the season has gone on, I've documented it, just the improvement on both of these players. And the fact is they both improved together. And if you guys want to see from the start what my opinions on the whole situation was, you can check the channel. And if you do enjoy the channel, subscribe. We're one off 25.31 subscribers. But yeah, it really is a case when you're looking at all these players that they do have, like, you're looking at the league, there's no young duo that even compares to these. Like, maybe you could argue that a Jackie Young, and in terms of NBA or WNBA years, Jackie Young and Aja Wilson maybe is a young duo, I guess. But if you look, there was a couple of really bad drafts in a row. 2020 actually, to be fair, Satu and Sabrina Ionescu, just the two of them, and Kennedy Carter. That was a decent draft. 2021 was one of the worst drafts we've seen. 2022 was the Ryan Howard draft. There were a couple of good players in that draft, like Nalissa Smith. I think Shakir was Austin in that draft. I think there were a couple of players in 2022 draft. And then you had, to be fair, Lexi Hull, I think, was taken high in the first round. Then you had 2023, where it was Aliyah Boston and the rest. And now 2024 has been the best draft, probably. May go down as the best draft ever. So you've seen with these players right here how good they've been. And the two of them together is crazy good. And the fact is like, we saw at All-Star Weekend that Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, I think more so Caitlin Clark, did not let Aliyah Boston out of her sight. Because she's probably not like she's not your Angel Reese as far as your like, or your Cameron Brink as far as being unbelievably social. So it's good that someone like an Aliyah Boston is there. And look, Aliyah Boston she's a good player. She's a really, really good player. And you can tell the two of them. Like, Caitlin Clark, you can't be, like, as much as the shooting's not there, you need people to catch your passes. Like, I'm not going to make a video talking about it with Kelsey Mitchell tomorrow, probably. But you need someone to catch your passes. You need somebody to know what you're going to do. Like, to play with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell even said it, is like, you need to have the same IQ as she does to play with her. And we saw, like, when she played with other All-Stars, how easy she made the game for them. And Aliyah Boston, I think, is realising just how easy Caitlin Clark is making the game for her. And also how easy Aliyah Boston's huge step up is making the game for Caitlin Clark. Like, Aliyah Boston, great mid-range shooter, got great hands, great touch. And she's now starting to roll to good positions. And she's not someone that's going to roll hard like a Temi Figbenley. But she's someone that's going to drift and be super effective while drifting. Which is, again, something really, really good. And more so than anything, like, again, I think when it comes to the Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, it really was the first game, or not even the first game, the first couple of games. You could see that when it came to on the court, how much the two of them were going to help each other out. Like, we remember that very, very first game at halftime. Like, how important this was. Like, I'll stand by it. Like, this was very, very important for the season. Straight away, first game of season, Caitlin Clark has not had a good half. Aliyah Boston straight away up to Caitlin Clark. You're fine. You're fine. Everything will be okay. And that's the first thing when Aliyah Boston missed a layup against Connecticut, and they lost that game. The first person to come up to her to say everything was okay was Caitlin Clark. And you're seeing it now. Like I didn't think at the start. Like, I genuinely did not think at the start of the year the two of them were going to mesh well together. And because Caitlin Clark has stopped shooting quite as many ridiculous shots, and Aliyah Boston's IQ is way, way higher than I thought it was going to be. Like, her IQ where she drifts is so, so good that they've both figured out how to play with each other. They both kind of changed what their natural game is slightly. And I'm more so impressed with Aliyah Boston, the fact that she's a back-to-the-basket player who has now become more effective while limiting her back-to-the-basket touches, because she's starting to do everything else well and basically playing a style of play that can complement Caitlin Clark more. And she's getting all the benefits from it as well. Like, she set her career high twice this year, and obviously set a career high in a game where Caitlin Clark had 19 assists. Like, 11 of her buckets were assisted by Caitlin Clark. So this duo is going to be around for a long, long time. The only way this duo isn't in one of the best duos, the fact they're both 22 years old, doesn't go down as maybe the greatest duo of all time. Because a lot of duos come and go. There's been a lot of, like, duos age-wise, like, as good as the Taurasi and Breanna duo was, there was a bit of an age difference. If Lynn Dunn and Indiana get their SH1T together, and these two play their careers there, you're going to win 2 to 3 titles. Especially because of the way these two play also means that they will complement whoever a third star is. And once you get that, you're good. You've won. Especially while they're on rookie deals. You got 3 more years of her on a rookie deal. You got 2 more years of her. And then even after the CBA, you can't tear up the deals. You got 2 and 1. And you'll be able to sign 2 to 3 max contract players around them. If Indiana are not competing for the 2026 WNBA championship, every single person should be fired and they should be forced to sell the damn team.